everyone, today I am going to do a makeup look, and I'm probably going to do something more sparkly and more eyeliner based than eyeshadow based. Okay, I've already done my primers and the face prep of moisturizer, and then my hard candy primer, and then the Power Grip primer from e.l.f. This one can be found from Walmart. This one might be in Walmart, but you can also get it from Ulta or Target. So the first thing I like to do is go in there and do my eyebrows. I am first going to just make sure that all my hair is facing the same way. I do dye my eyebrows so they're a little bit darker, but typically I have pretty blonde eyebrows. They're very light, but I like to dye them so you can see them. I first go in there with the Anastasia Dip Brow. I know a lot of people do not like this anymore, but I like this to start out with eyebrows. And then I do go in there with more of like a pencil, and then I finish it out with liquid eyeliner because I feel like that's what gives me those precise hair marks when I'm making fake hair at the beginning of my eyebrows and also filling in the tail as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in here with like an angled brush, and I'm going to start the line here and go up and just follow the natural of my eyebrow shape, starting from the bottom. Okay. Just like that. So I'm just following underneath, and once I get to this part, which is the curve of my eyebrow, I mostly just do like flicks like this going down the tail of my eyebrow to make it look a little bit more natural instead of boxy of following my eyebrows. So the next step of doing my eyebrows, I start more like in the middle of the brow here. So I don't start at the beginning here because that's where I put in the eyeliner strokes. So I just start more in the middle here and twist the brush down to go over the curve of my eyebrow, and then I meet it down at the tail. And that is the start. Now I'm going in there with just this eyeliner pencil. It's from Maybelline. It's not as sharp as I like. This one's kind of dull. I do like a pretty pointy sharp. And then I'm just going to now fill in most of the middle here. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm only going to flick upwards because then that will help create more of line shapes than harsh lines. So this is what we're working with so far. Now to start on the beginning spots, I'm just going to take the same pencil that I did earlier with that. I'm just going to go up. I'm doing this super lightly. So that's what it's looking like right now. So it's not exactly where I want it to be, but this is a great outline because then I'm going to go in there with the fine tip eyeliners and go in with the rest, and that's going to create those hair-like strokes. So these are the two eyeliners that I use. One's going to be from Maybelline and one's going to be from L'Oreal, and these are pretty fine points, as you can see. So they really do create the nice hairlines. You just want to find one, a pen, like an eyeliner that's going to have a pretty sturdy tip here, because if it's flimsy, it's not going to have nice sharp lines for your eyebrows. So I'm going to go in with this Maybelline Master Precise All Day eyeliner. And again, this is just liquid eyeliner. You can get this from Walmart as well. I mean, you can literally get it from any store that you go to. Pretty sure the dollar store even sells it. And here again, I'm just going to do those up and down stripes just to make it not as boxy or harsh. Also, I feel like smaller swipes does give you a little bit better control. So I did the eyeliner for the tail end here. Now I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal one. This one's going to be a precision eyeliner as well. Again, those precision ones are going to be a little bit better to do those hair-like motions. So again, I'm going to be focusing more on this front part here because it still looks a little bit bare and not as, defined as the rest of the eyebrow. So I'm going to go in here, and so I'm resting my chin on my palm so I can go like this, and it's comfortable for me. So it's a great way. You don't have to, but it's definitely a great tip. And I'm just going to go up like so. And you want to make sure you start the line where your eyebrow line is at. So then the hairs look more natural that you're putting in. Okay, and this is the start of that. You can kind of see I'm putting in those hair strokes there. So just like it's important to prime your face and prep it, it is also just as important to do that for your eyelids, especially if you are doing some eyeliner or mascara, or excuse me, eyeshadow. I mean, anything, honestly, is very important to do so to make sure that it's all prepped as needed. So I just put on some of this Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. It can be found at Ulta. Original, it's pretty good. I've had a few different primers, and this one probably works one of the best. And I'm just going to kind of just dab it in to my eyes. I'm not doing any of that swiping motion. I am just dabbing it into the eyes. There is going to be some brush strokes, and I will be taking care of that in just a moment. I'm just going to dab it in here and make sure that my whole eyelid is being taken care of, because sometimes I have an idea or plan of how I want my eye makeup to look, and once I'm into it, I feel I do more. Okay, now that our stuff is primed, I'm going to go in there with the eye makeup. So today I'm going to use my Morphe palette. I'm not sure which one this is, but this is what it looks like. It has a lot of sparkles. And then I'm also going to go in there with the Morphe / James Charles mini palette here. And I'm going to do definitely a sparkly look today. It's what I've been wanting to do for a long time. Since I already have the base powder on of the setting powder, I'm going to just go in there with the shade that I already been wanting to do, that I like to do on the bottom of my eyes. And the shade is going to be Tea and No Beans, which I will show you the shades here. It's going to be this shade and this shade. I'm going to mix and just put that down as my base. And I do have a fluffy brush from this. I just got it from Ulta. I don't know who this is from. I can't read that, honestly. I don't have my glasses on. But I'm just going to dabble in this one on one side of the brush, and then on the other side, so I dab in there one side, other side of the brush, I'm going to grab that other color, just so then I can have each and kind of control what the shade's going to look like when I'm blending it into my eye. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I do want that tan color to pop up a little bit better, I'm going to put on like that more reddy color down on my lid first, and I'm just going to pat like this. And then I'm going to flip it over to the other side and just pat down. And so this is what we're working with right now. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. And I'm just patting that color in. And then I'll be blending it out as well with probably more of like a light peachier color to just really soften up the edge and soften the color, because I don't want it too dark. Because if you have too dark of a color with sparkles, I don't feel like they stand out as well. So this is what I have now. I'm now going to go in with this more fluffier brush, if you can see that. More fluffier, and I'm going to just put like a light neutral color on the brush, just so then I'm going to grab this from the Morphe palette, and it's going to be this bottom shade right here. It's going to be peachy and neutral, and I'm just going to go over the edges with that, and how I'm going to do that is in a circular motion. So I have the edge, so I'm coming in just a little bit, because I don't want the color out too far with the eyebrow. So like I said, I am trying to do more of a sparkly look with the eyeshadow, so I'm just going to take my brush, come in just a little bit in the color, and just start buffing it out. And as you see, I'm just doing circular motions to help buff out those edges and buff out that color. And honestly, blending can take kind of some time. People think they can only do blending for a couple seconds. No, you need to do blending for, sometimes it can take me a couple minutes to get where I want to get. So it's just one of those things where you just need to keep doing it and keep blending until you get where you want to get with that. So that's just what I'm doing with the edges here. And I think I might even go with a lighter tone off of the James Charles palette. I do like this yellowy tone. I feel like does blend pretty well also. And I'm going to just grab a different fluffy brush. I don't have what I'm looking for, so I'm probably just going to stick with this one, forget that. But yes, I'm just going to go right here, and then again, I'm just going to just start doing some circular motions. So what I'm doing for this is just swiping on that eyeshadow. So it's very blue. See if I can get closer for this. It's more like a blue-green, like aqua. It's very pretty. I do like this a lot. And I am kind of just winging this look, so I might have to figure out as I'm filming. And I'm just going to grab a little bit more, because sparkles do not, for me at least, maybe I'm not doing it right. I'm hoping I am, but I don't feel like it goes far. Like, I feel like you have to use a lot to get where you want. So I was going to just do half the lid, but looking at this, I do want to do the full lid. So I'm just going to come down here to the lid, and I'm just going to swipe it more on there. So now my whole lid is covered with that sparkle. I do have a lot of fallout out here, which is it. And I don't want a lot, like I said. I'm just going to pat it on my eyelid, like so. And it's not going to do a whole lot. It's just going to brighten the color up just a little bit so it's not too dark. But if you like the dark color, you don't have to do that. I am just trying something new, because I feel like I'm always doing dark eye makeup all the time. And now I'm just going to go over with this brush again and just kind of swipe it on there just to make sure that it looks nice and seamlessly. So just like this. And that's basically all I'm going to do for my eyes. So now I am going to go in there with eyeliner though. So I just have that. Does not look good, but you just need to trust the process. Because now what I'm going to do is take my bottom waterline and just meet where I want my line to be. Which I want it to be. My eyes are just so wrinkly. I don't know why, but I just have really wrinkly eyes. So doing liquid eyeliner is just a little bit harder. So this is what it looks like so far. I did flick it up a little bit from the waterline. And then I'm just going to connect this line all together so it looks better. I'm only closing my eye to fill it in. Okay. And I am going to just be getting rid of that other mark down there. That was a mistake. So I did just get black eyeshadow from the James Charles palette. I just on this fluffy brush, and I'm just going to go like this and just swipe it on there. I do also put it on my waterline just because I think it looks a little weird on me if my waterline is still white and underneath is black. So I'm just going to go like this to kind of bring my eyes down. And swipe. And that is how that's going to look. So this is how it's looking so far. I do just want to brighten up the corners a little bit. So I'm going to go in with this light blue sparkly color that is on the James Charles palette as well. I'm doing blue just because that sparkle color that I chose for the lids are a little bit more blue-green. And it's just the blue color. And I do like this just to give it that little pop, like so. So this is going to go in the corner. And you can see that it kind of just gave that pop of color, like so. I don't want to go on the lid with this. This is just really to brighten up that inner corner of the look just because the eyeliner definitely darkened it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is concealer. I do use a lot of the Tarte face products for my foundation, so I'm going in with the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Concealer. This is going to be shade 12 and Fair Neutral. It's ultra creamy, a great concealer. I actually really do like this. This is my first time trying the Tarte, like when I bought these products, and I do really enjoy their products. I have a lot of them. They do go very far. They, just spread very far, so I don't use a lot of it at once. So how I control that is I just take it out of the bottle and I swipe it on my hand so I can get controlled product, and I put it on with a brush. Prior to doing any of your makeup, I do advise to wet your beauty blender first and then do your makeup so your beauty blender isn't soaking wet when you put on your foundation and stuff and blend it in. So I definitely recommend that. I am going to go in with this brush. This is the same brush that I did for my primer on my eyes, but I'm just going to, if you can kind of see that, I guess dab into that. You don't want a lot, so sometimes I'll swipe it over here because this does go very far and I don't want it to look too cakey with what I have going on. Okay, now that I let it sit, I'm going to go back in there with this brush and I'm just going to pat it in because I feel like it's going to pick up a lot of that blue pigment, which is totally okay. Like, it will all come together, so don't be worried if you see that. I'm definitely not worried, and I do have a lot of blue undertone from that eyeshadow, but that's okay. Sometimes, if I feel like it's a little too much, I will just put a little bit of red, like a liquid red lip gloss or something, just because then that helps even out the tones, because I do have a lot of red undertones, and I don't. So, as you can see, I am just dabbing the concealer in. I'm not smearing or wiping, especially because around your eyes it is so sensitive. It's a very fragile piece of skin there, so you don't want to be swiping because that's not good for the skin at all in that area. For the eyebrows, I am going to do a little bit more of a swiping motion though, just because I'm trying to clean them up a little bit. And I'm going to clean this one up. This one looked a little bit better than my other. Always happens to me. One always turns out better than the other, and it's typically my left one, which is weird because I am right-handed, so you would think the right would look better, but it doesn't. Okay. So a lot of the blue is peeking up, which is totally okay. I'm going to blend the rest of this off camera, and then we will go to foundation.
So I do use two foundations. I use the Dermalogica Sheer Tint. This is going to have SPF in it, just 20 SPF. And then the Tarte, just to have a little bit of a blend. This is just a little too white for me. I'm a little bit too cool because I do have those orange tones or red tones. I do mix this in it, and it has a great base for me, and it has SPF. Everyone should be wearing SPF.
Okay, so for foundation, because I do use two different ones, I have my Wet Beauty Blender. And again, Tarte does go a very long way. Okay, so I probably do half a pump. I mean, literally this much covers my face. I probably even did a little too much if I am looking at it correctly. Now I'm going to go in there with that Dermalogica Sheer Tint SPF 20. This is going to be on the light shade. Those shades are kind of, it's either light, medium, or dark. And the light is a little bit more orangey. This is what it looks like. And I do use more of that one because that one does not go as far because it's SPF mostly. It's not, and it's nice for like a quick, if you just want to cover your skin up. But anyway, I have this on there, and now when I put it on, I'm going to twist it to kind of blend them in. So I'm going to go like this, move my hair out of the way, and I'm just putting it where I put all my foundation on, and then make sure you get that jawline so it can blend in seamlessly with your neck. And for foundation, you should never swipe, always pat. So this is with a wet beauty blender. I'm just going to pat it on there. And I'm going to get underneath my chin as well because I do want it all to be blended nicely. And I am bringing it up to the eyes just because of that blue pigment that's in there from that dropout of the eyeshadow. So I'm not doing the hairline around my nose yet. I do use the other side of the beauty blender to get those better areas. And so that's basically all I do for blending. Now I'm going to switch it to this, and that's how I'm going to get like underneath my eye better. And that's how I'm going to get my hairline just a little bit better as well, in the creases of my nose, all that fun stuff. Anyway, I am going to go now in with that Fenty Beauty contouring stick. This stuff blends really nicely. This is going to be color Amber Suede, and it's pretty nice. I definitely recommend this one. This is my first contouring stick I've had, but I love it. So what I'm going to do is look for my natural cast. So this is where my bone line is. I can see the casting shadow from my cheeks naturally. So I'm just going to go right there. And I'm going to do kind of a bit because I've done the Meredith Duxbury challenge. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but I've done that before, and it's very cute. It's very hard to do, but I loved the extra contouring that I did with it. So for the nose contouring, I mean, there's so many different shapes and ways you can do it. But the best tip I can give for that is to make sure you do the lines on top of your nose, because what you're doing is making it skinnier. You know, you're snatching it up. So if you do the lines on the side of your nose here, it's going to make it wider. So you're going to want to do the lines more on top of your nose. So you're thinning it out. If you do it on the sides, it's more than likely going to look just a little bit bigger. And this is my contouring, and then I'm of course going to do right here because who likes a double chin? Not me. And now I am going to blend this out. So the first thing I'm going to do when I'm blending out my contour is use a brush. I'm going to use this type of brush. It's kind of fluffy, but very small, very nice to control. I don't know where you can get this or what size. My sister-in-law actually got me this little brush set, so shout out to her. I'm going to just tap this in like so. And I'm not moving up or down like this. I'm just tapping in the product to blend it out like that. I know it's very like obvious still. I'm still blending it, but that's the best way to do it to make sure that like you're not blending it to a way it's not noticeable, because you are contouring your face, so you don't want it to look like it's just bronzer, if that makes sense. So this is what it looks like with just patting it with that brush. The chin is not quite blended in yet. I didn't touch the nose because I did use that with a separate brush. But now I'm going to go in there with this beauty blender. I am using a different one because it's nicer to have a beauty blender for your darker colors, so like contour and stuff like that. And then I have this other one that I use for foundation only, foundation and concealer, because I just don't want it to get mixed up when I'm trying to blend it all out. But now that I've done that, it's pretty nice blended in. It's definitely obvious, but you want it obvious because that's why you're putting it on. So I'm going to just take this and just blend out the edges. And I'm just going to bring it upwards. Like so. So I'm not going like this now, or I'm not going like this. I'm just tapping up. And you can already see that like my scratch for my cat is showing, so I'm just trying to get that blended in there. But you can already see that like I do have more of a defined, like this side definitely looks more defined, this side looks a little bit more round. So blending it in super harsh, I have found that it looks more like bronzer than anything else. So I've been trying to keep it more obvious, so you're not just putting product on and hoping that it looks good and it not be what you're wanting. And also to save product. I mean, I will be the first to admit makeup is very expensive. Okay, there we go, all set. The next thing I'm going to do is go in with my little stick blush. This can also be used as a little lip stain, I guess. This is from Ulta. It's their Ulta Beauty line, and it's too cheeky for lips and cheeks. And I think it's color Mood. So I'm just gonna put it there. I do like some on my forehead, and then some on the bridge of my nose like that. And then I am gonna just put some on my lips. This is not gonna be the lip color I do, but will be a good base. It's all about base, you know, for me. It's nothing crazy effort, you know, build it up. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in there with this. I'm just gonna pat it in there. I don't do this with a brush. I'm just gonna do this with a beauty blender because I just want it more soft, nothing crazy with the color. So this is how my cheeks are looking so far. I'm just now blending in the forehead blush. So for my nose blush, I am gonna do the one where it's all connecting. So I'm just going to pat it and then bring it on out. Like so, to just slowly start blending it here. Like so. That's, again, going in with that Tarte pressed powder. This is going to be fair neutral, neutral as well. That's what all of my shades are in, just because I'm a little bit more on that pale side, and I'd rather it be a little bit too light and I can build it up with bronzer than it be too dark and it's really hard to lighten. I feel like it's a lot easier to darken. So I'm just going to take my little pressed powder, and I really am just going to put this around underneath my eyes right here in my T-zone. So I'm just going to fold it because my eyes aren't as big. I'm just going to press underneath, and this is just going to set so I don't crease. I don't like to do powder everywhere just because of the bronzer and everything. I don't want that to be covered, but I am going to go under here. I'm going to do my chin, above my mouth, here, and then under my eye on the other side. And then I'm going to go in there with that on my forehead. I am going to do it everywhere on my forehead, just because I like it to be set. So now that is done, the other thing that I like to do is I do just like to have very prominent bronzer. Like, I like it to be extra. So I am going to take a fluffy angled brush like this. I don't know where or what this is called, but it's just a little fluffy angle brush. I'm going to go in there with that Wet n Wild palette that I used earlier for my nose, and I'm just going to tap some product on there, and then I'm just going to build it on top of the contour that I already placed, but I'm just going to put it right here. And that is defined, okay? That's what I want. I want it to be as snatched as it could because I do have some pretty round cheeks. Obviously, it'll be blended, but not super blended. Oh, because that's my style. That is my style, okay? I am looking, oh, here it is. My makeup area is a little bit of a mess. That's just life. I am going to now go in this one. This is a CoverGirl blush, Clean Glow, Roses. And I do like this. I mostly just use the red, but... And again, I'm bringing that up so it connects with my nose. There we go. That is done. And the last thing I'm going to do is just come in with this other fluffy brush and just kind of blend out this. And now all we need is some highlights. And then we're going back to the eyes. And yes, it's such a long process when it comes to makeup. And, you know, that's okay. Take your time because there's no need to rush. No need to stress, okay? I'm just going to put some on the top of the bridge of my nose right here. And then I'm going to put some at the tip of my nose here because I want it to be sparkling. And then I'm going to put some just right here. This is a very natural highlight. It's not Dior shiny. Okay, it's just a very casual, which is fine because when I do my blush where it connects with the nose, I feel like it's kind of harder to put highlight. Oh my gosh, there's a freaking hair right there. Put highlight where you want to put it. So just put it like that. Okay. And then, of course, the Cupid's bow and the forehead, I do put some right here. And then right here. I might use this as a lip color. Okay. And I don't use that for just the Cupid's bow. I do use a white powder, but we'll get to that. Okay, so I am now doing lashes. These are the lashes that I'm going to put on. Very dramatic, but I love it. I got these from Amazon. They come in like a 30-pack for like $10. So they're pretty good. And I'm going to use strip adhesive with biotin and blueberry latex free from Lash Couture. This is my first time using it, like the first time I bought this, and I've liked it so far. It comes out like this, so it's pretty easy to just slap that glue on, and then it dries pretty fast as well. So you can put it on your eye pretty nicely, which I love probably the most about this glue. Definitely recommend it. But honestly, any glue that has this little thing, excuse me, is very nice because it just makes things easier. Like, putting on it from the tube is fine, but, like, I feel like you just have a lot more control of how much product is getting on it. So, of course, I'm going to let it dry a little bit. I already did the mascara. I've already done the eyelash curl. Okay, this is just about ready to go on. So, I'm just going to put this on here. From what I've learned with eyelashes, corners are the most important thing. Okay, the middle can be wonky, but the corners are what make it. Okay. And it's best to like hold the corners down for 10 seconds on each side, so I'm going to do that real quick. And I think for color, I'm going to just do this. This is a lip plumper, but it's very sparkly, which I love. Love the sparkles, love it all. it doesn't really do a lot of lip plumping. I'm not gonna lie. This is the Buxom Serena is what it's called, and it's like a tan, sparkly gloss that's supposed to plump the lips. It doesn't do a lot of plumping, but I love the gloss itself, so I just kept it. And there we go. Here is the final look.
Alright guys, well I really appreciate you for watching this video, and if you liked this, please like and subscribe, and I will be posting more content about tutorials and different looks that you can do, and hopefully give some inspiration of different eye makeup. Thanks, bye!